So the video today is brought to you by the different setting I decided to film in, which is the inside of the car I drive. And I'm not really sure why I decided to film in the car, other than the fact that I wanted to film outside and it's raining and the birds are annoying. I could say something terribly poetic like I decided to film in the car because this is a video about reflection and I've done a lot of reflecting in the car the past couple weeks, and there's no point to making stuff like that up. So I sort of had this idea to make a video based on reflection as I'm doing now, but the voiceover narrative being the blog that I wrote the other day that I'm in love with, and it didn't work out like I expected or like I imagined it. Granted, I didn't really have an idea for it in the first place, but it didn't really come together in the end like I wanted it to. So ultimately I didn't end up finishing that. I kind of toyed with the idea of re-recording or writing something that kind of compared what I wanted to talk about to normal everyday things that I deal with. I think one of the ideas was to compare it to nature. I went on a hike yesterday and I found a lot of similarities in that weird sense of comparison between normal life and the process of growing up and the grueling torture that is hiking in nature. Another idea was to compare it to concerts, which is very cliche and something that I would normally do, but neither of those felt right. I feel like this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and now would be the perfect opportunity and the perfect situation to do it. Now, how I'm gonna go about this, I'm not really sure. These past 2 weeks, my brain has been fixated basically on the idea, like I've been saying for the past however long this intro has been, on reflection and the process of growing up and the progress of maturing, and it's all very intimidating and very scary and very interesting to me at the same time, because being the person I am and the way that my brain works and the way that I surround myself with people that are the same exact way, in the end I'm going to want to do something like this or write something about it. Even now I'm having trouble sitting here trying to talk to the camera and explain everything that I'm feeling without sounding too cheesy and cliche and disgustingly emotional. Since starting YouTube, this isn't something I would do. The way that I'm about to describe the precursor to all of this and how much this specific topic, subject, person, group of people, whatnot has impacted me, but this is something I would have done like 3 years ago, and that's kind of what I'm trying to explain to you. Is I've done a lot of reflecting, and constantly I'm thinking about how much I've progressively aged and matured and how much of a different person I am compared to who I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's something I can't stop thinking about. My brain won't stop reminding me. 3 years ago, I found a band called Paradise Fears. Yes, I hear your collective groan, just calm down. There for a while, they were the only thing I wanted to listen to. They were the only people I wanted to interact with. They were the only concert I wanted to go to. And not really in sort of an obsessive way, but I found them at a time that they came in and served as sort of an outlet for me. A lot of their music helped me escape any bad feelings I had. Looking back on it now, it probably wasn't healthy for me to do that. But in the name of progression and maturing, that's kind of how I am the person I am today, if that makes any sense at all. Words! I don't know how to use words. Last year on my birthday, I took a surprise trip to Philadelphia to go see them, and since that point I didn't really pay much attention to them or really want to, and I'm not really sure why. I was even feeling that way basically the day before we first started the run of shows that we went to, and it's so weird thinking about it. At these shows, they play a song called You to Believe In and a song called Who We Were With. And when those songs came out, I didn't really like them at all, I'll be honest. I realized when I actually sat down and like listened to the words of the songs, and after the whole experience with spending the majority of 3 days in a car and spending it with people who I don't usually get to see, that those songs, like every other freaking Paradise Fears song does, struck a chord with me. It was mainly You to Believe In that really got me thinking about this progress of me growing up. And what better time than just around my 20th birthday. For those of you that don't know, I turned 20 last weekend. Oh, big deal. Exciting. I took a second and watched the You to Believe In video again and kind of watched the like questions and behind the scenes stuff that Sam, the lead singer, did. They had a lot of ideas for the You to Believe In video. They ultimately came up with the video.
Something like a crisis, a quarter life gone by.
And that was one of the things that really got me thinking about how much I've changed. My entire life, I've never really known what I wanted to be or who I wanted to be. All I knew is I was just kind of going with it, with this idea that, you know, it's already been predetermined who I am. I'm gonna be this shy person. I'm not gonna talk to people. Like, I'm gonna be known as the reserved one and this and that. And I have surprisingly turned into quite the opposite of that person. I'm still a very shy individual. Never mind that my nickname is Shy. Like, shy in the you know what I mean. It's also very fascinating to me in the sense that you can be one person and you're certain that this is who you're going to be for the rest of your life, and something happens, or, you know, you just make the decision one day that I don't want to be this person anymore, and you have the power to change who you are. And on this topic, there's still so much that I want to say and so much I want to put into words that I can't quite formulate in my brain yet. And that's kind of where I had the idea to compare it to something of everyday life. Like, all of this it's very weird. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't have another word to describe it other than weird. How my brain works like that. And how my brain doesn't work when I'm trying to not be cheesy and cliche and sappy. And here we are. This is the result you're getting from it. I've stepped back quite a bit the past couple days, past couple weeks even, and seen how different of a person I've become. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not really sure at this point. And that comes with something I said in my blog post about how I tend to not question existence anymore because it's probably better off not being questioned. And any questions that I have, they're probably better off not answered. Just like coming in with this realization that I was so in love with Paradise Fears 2 and 3 years ago, and then I do the same exact thing 3 years later, and I didn't think I would enjoy it these couple years later. And I did, and what came out of it but me questioning my entire existence. So thank you, Paradise Fears, for that. You're true friends. But if you did stick around for this terrible stream of consciousness, thank you, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be back to not unusual videos next week. And I guess I'll just see you guys later. Stay beautiful, kids.